Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, IndigoAngel. Come on into this grand rising, essentially, on July 25th, 2025. Today, we are bringing in the 7-7 codes. And that's one of the reasons why I'm getting on so early today, is because it's Friday. I believe Friday, isn't Friday the day of Venus? Hmm. Might need to look that up. Uh, but yeah, July 25th, 2025, 7 So today is 777. And good morning, everyone. It's very early on my end, but I have so much that I have to do today, essentially. So I wanted to get up early and I wanted to share this deeper insight with you guys, and which is going to continue to expand off of the official transmission that I essentially received from the Mintakan Venusian Accord. Okay, so there was a huge galactic message and download that I brought in just the other day, the last live that I did, that I was essentially talking about the Venusian Accords and how Earth is requiring an intervention at this time. Intelligence data that's coming from the Venusian systems, where they have core orbital crystalline satellites embedded in the cloud layers of Venus. And there are 13 satellites in total that are tracking gravitational toroidal shifts and quantum waveform degradation in the planetary leylines. And they've been monitoring since 2008 to 2023. And in the previous live, I had essentially kind of laid out with you guys all of the findings that have come through what is being tracked in the intelligence data from the orbital crystalline satellites. Okay, so I wanted to get on today because there is more expanded information regarding this. And I feel like it's, important for me to bring it forward, as, awareness is everything when it comes to what is happening on the level of the Guardian Alliance. So yeah, guys, come on in and check on into this live. It is very early this morning, July 25th, 2025, 8:30 in the morning. I'm getting up at an unusual hour to come and present this live to you guys. And it's just because, honestly, I did not sleep all that well last night. I have had a lot coming through in terms of information. And also, just the energy has been very heightened, again, because we're going through the 7-7 portal. So, now is the time to be really kind of meditating and holding yourself open to these universal crystal keys, codes, and tones that are coming through, because right now we are getting a massive influx of data streams coming into the planet. According to the Guardians and also the Guardian planet Venus, this is really being activated at this time. So I want to get into it with you guys, and I wanted to show you some of the diagrams that I've been guided to essentially make to kind of show what it is that I'm being shown, and what it is that I'm being seen. So what you're looking at on the screen right now is the orbital configuration of the 13 Venusian crystal satellites. Okay, and basically, um, this was coming through like a Venusian High Council transmission. And yeah, they've been bringing forward celestial observation records since 2008 to 2023. So come on in and check on in for this live, you guys. The chat is open, so if you want to come into the chat, just be sure to put a big like on this video as you come on in. You do have to be subscribed to the channel for at least 60 seconds. And it's showing that my bit rate is slow. Again, so that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes the stream is slow. So yeah, just let me know if it gets too splotchy, the connection. Okay, if I end up going in and out and there's too much interference. Okay, so let's talk about these orbital configurations of the 13 Venusian crystalline satellites. So this it came in through the Venusians. This was a transmission that I personally received that was coming through the Seraphim, Seraphi, Sera, S-E-R-A, emissaries, and the guardians of divine planetary alignment. Okay, and they have mentioned, and to me, and they've also have maintained an orbital crystalline surveillance network above Earth's upper atmosphere since the third galactic fall. And if you're not familiar with the third galactic fall, essentially, this was the fall of Tara. This was the remembrance of the Atlantean flood, and this was the beginning of the Metatronic grid wars on planet Earth. And so the third galactic fall involved a prolonged campaign of grid weaponization, crystal technology abuse, as you guys know. The most famous location of this is the Bermuda Triangle. And also right now, currently, where I feel like the bulk of this is actually occurring, is in, I would say, 3 primary gate systems on the planet right now. SS2, SS3, and SS8, essentially, which is, Bermuda, Sarasota, Florida, and also the China gates, the Orion China gates, essentially. This is where a lot of the crystal technology abuse is currently happening on Earth, but in the third galactic fall, at that time, this is what essentially collapsed down the Earth Tara Gaia Trinity system. Okay, because those used to be connected before the third galactic fall. Each galactic fall is a remembrance of essentially Stargate hijack. And currently on the Earth, we have 5 out of the 12 Stargates hijacked. So basically, all of this truly marked the implantation of fully functional Metatronic reversal grids, okay, which was them ripping holes into the phantom systems, into the shadow realms, into the purgatory realms. And this kind of marked the betrayal of the Atlantean priesthoods and the seeding of all of the false AI-aligned planetary architecture. So it was a lot of Atlantean elite factions that were betraying all of the organic codes. And again, this was where the destruction of Tara's planetary body imploded through, believe it or not, it was imploded through grid weaponry. Okay, so, oh man, these types just really want to pillage out their own planet for the resources type of thing. But essentially, the third galactic fall had a lot to do with why these Venusian orbital intelligence core surveillance crystal satellites were even installed. So this is kind of what they look like orbiting around the planet right now, is what you see in this picture. It is just a diagram, but it does kind of serve a nice visual because honestly, these are not detectable by Earth contemporary astronomical optics. This isn't something that's going to be seen through any sort of telescope type of thing, as again, a lot of this is also interdimensional. And these crystalline satellites, they exist within the 8th dimensional auric sheath of Venus, layered in a superluminal plasma architecture. So they're suspended in the cloud plasma of Venus. And it makes them cloaked to, all of detection forms that one might have, unless they've been, activated through vibrational harmonics or Stargate pulse sequencing or Stargate mechanics. You do have to have some sort of understanding of how Stargates function to be able to tune into technology such as this, because, well, your quantum biofield needs the upgrades from the Stargates to be able to detect the orbital fields, essentially. So, yeah, this is really deep, you guys. But I wanted to get this information out to you guys today because I think it's imperative that I do, that we're on the 777 codes. Okay. And so, again, a lot of this is really connected to those currents and why the information is being dropped today. So, and if I sound a little groggy, it's just because it is early. I am a little bit tired and I did not sleep very well last night. And so I'm just kind of coming back to life, but I have like a super busy day today. And I just felt like, I might be too tired later. So I think it's just the utmost importance that I deliver this message to you guys, because this is really working within the Sophianic planetary recovery networks, as we are still technically kind of in the window of embarking through the Hydra cosmological alignments. And so through the Hydra cosmological alignments, we enter into a Sophianic planetary recovery network that's anchored through Stargate 10, essentially, as there is a lot of planetary override at this time. In Guardian intervention that is working on Stargate 10, Mount Herman, and also the Temple Mount Merkaba fields. Okay, so Stargate 10 is essentially a triangulation vortex. And there has been a hijacking that occurred. So I do feel like Temple Mount was essentially hijacked. That Temple Mount in Israel is the original Stargate 10. Also, Mount Herman as well was the original Stargate. This is, why the fall happened, like biblically at Mount Herman, right? Because this is a very significant Stargate vortex, okay, that applies to the architecture of the Iran SS-10. So it's not just Iran SS-10, it's also Mount Herman, and it is also the Temple Mount. But those things need to be still cleared and ultimately reclaimed in terms of the angelic human body and the reactivation of the divine blueprints. And it is early, you guys, so if you feel called to check on into the chat, come and have a morning, super early morning chat. I'm probably catching you guys as you're waking up out of your slumber, coming to life. So I just want to say grand rising to the 777 codes. And I know that this is some heavy information first thing in the morning, but trust me, it's going to activate you. Okay, so here are your 777 activations. And I'm starting to get my energy coming back after just talking here for the last 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'm starting to wake up. Literally just woke up, got ready, barely got ready, took a shower, and just was like, you know what? I need to get on and transmit this message to you guys. So yeah, grand rising. And don't even want to say the other one. Don't like the other word. Because I don't want to mourn this day. Okay. We need to accept all of our blessings and high vibrational frequencies, as the 7/7 codes are very, very high. So very, very prophetic. 7/7 is a prophetism streamline of data, essentially. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. Oh, he's just going to bed. Okay. Have a good sleep. ATL, Grand Rising ATL, Grand Rising Yelena, Skipina, Grand Rising Wotermans. All right. So yeah, you do have to be subscribed to the channel for at least 60 seconds to come on in and say hello. But yes, please come and join me because first thing in the morning and some heavy information coming through. Essentially, I've been holding this information from the original previous update that I did. I think I brought forth a lot of heavy information on that, and I know I activated a lot of people. The response to that was astronomical. So, yeah, these codes are lit. Okay, just know that the codes that are coming through right now, this is like future information, technically, that is defining what's going to be happening over the next 3 years on Earth, 2025 to 2028. So I know this is just a simple diagram, but this diagram and a couple others that I have are really good for defining what these 13 crystal satellites are in terms of operation of the biosentient monitoring systems that are linked and synchronized into the cloud formation matrices of Venus, the solar lunar harmonics, and the morphic resonance field of the Earth's planetary mind and consciousness field. So these are essentially rotating around the Earth. And from what I'm getting, the downloads that I'm getting is that they've been monitoring the functions, these Venusian satellites, since 2008 to 2023. So basically what they've been doing is they've been tracking of quantum waveform degradation across planetary ley lines, especially in the equatorial reversal portions. So nodes in Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, and then the area of the Holy Ring of Fire, in which we know is very destructive between SS10, Mount Hermon, and the Temple Mount, which ultimately are all essentially a part of SS10. So, and that's something that I feel like at some point I will need to clarify in future updates and kind of present that information, because I really haven't presented that information to you guys before. It's something that's also just been currently coming in for me personally and activating is the awareness around that. And I think the whole Watchers falling essentially and mating with the women, okay, of Earth, the angels, the pre-fall seraphim lines, the Sarahs, they they don't want us to know that there's a gate, organic gate system under there, right? So they divert us away from those gate systems with these stories, basically, even though they're true stories, but the stories divert us away from the truth. So I mean, that's, again, we know a lot of this, and really, truly, to be honest with you guys, this all goes back to the original sin implants and the Venusian records of the fall of woman, which have also come through Guardian Alliance transmissions from Venus archives in the 8th harmonic layer of the planet. And they're coming again through the Sophianic line records. They're coming through the Mary Magdalenes, and again through these 777 codes today, July 25th, 2025. You guys, this is a very activated day, believe it or not. But the whole concept of the original sin was not a teaching of the original human angelic races. This was a mind control implant that was seeded into the Earth's collective morphogenetic field by the Draco-Orion War Councils, the Predator Councils, essentially, during the Lemurian fall. And that was to collapse the Sophianic flames. This was to collapse the Alatia flames. Okay, the Venusian, basically to collapse down those 72 dimensions, harmonic dimensions that Venus is essentially holding in the planet. Okay, and so that Sophianic flame encoded in the womb gates of Venus and Mu lineages, what they did was they implanted the original sin implant, and it wasn't a religious distortion. This was actually a frequency weapon. Okay, and this frequency weapon is, and even as I say that, you guys, oh my gosh, my crown chakra is opening up, my third eye is opening up, and it's like, um, I can feel like this whole movement of water and just like grief kind of coming up with that, like that all came through like siphon grids, okay, over India, Iran, Iraq. And this is where they implanted it, okay? And it's a little bit devastating. It's devastating, that this happened to the earth because this is really what is at the core of the destruction. And this was really to sever the soul body connection to the female coded genetics, to the feminine Christ, and ultimately, collapse down half of the Sophia Christ ascension pathways on the planet. As we know, there was nuclear warfare originally in Australia. And one of the main things that they tried to dominate and basically entirely distort and destroy was the dove grid. So there's a lot to all this, right? I think that this original sin implant does operate as a holographic reversal shield, and it does distort people's self-perception, their ability to love themselves, their ability to, you know, create anything for themselves in this world because they don't feel essentially worthy. Okay, it distorts the purity memory and all the sexual sovereignty in women. It's encoded into the collective astral field as well. The implant generates phantom guilt. Oh, yeah. And a lot of ancestral shame and cosmic self-rejection, especially for women. Okay, for men too, but it hooks them in a whole different way. Because the men were honestly the first ones to be implanted with the forced breeder implants. And I know that I, go around talking about, because I'm vouching for the divine feminine a lot. You guys know this, right? Like I'm out here I'm out here with my sword. I'm out here with my Athena lady here. Okay. And she's like, I'm not putting up with this. So carrying the Medusa shield over here. But so it's sad though, the men were the first ones to be taken to be implanted with the forced breeder and sexual misery implants, king of tyranny implants, things like this. So the original sin implant is affecting everybody, men and women. And it's really encoded in the collective astral field. And this implant generates phantom guilt, It's looping those artificial guilt frequencies through the sacral heart crown trinity. Oh yeah, feeling that one. Actually just pulled an implant. Not gonna out of someone the other day. I'm not gonna say who, but it was one that was, hooked up to the back of the neck area, down below the vertebrae between the shoulders, and then hooked down into the sacral chakra. Vicious, vicious implant that's causing like a lot of severe pain in the body. And honestly, mirroring a lot of the sickness and illness on the planet is what it's mirroring. And that's just looping these artificial guilt frequencies through the sacral heart crown and the feminine energy system particularly. And then this is muting and mutating the natural light body harmonics of the Alacia flame, which is something that they don't want you to know about because this is the Venus flame. So I've gotten a lot of this from my Hydra accounts, to be honest with you. Like all my Hydra records are getting returned to me. And I've, been accessing this through diving deeper into the Hydra Draco Wars, something that, I'm writing about currently right now in my new book. So the goal is to have that published by the end of 2025, you guys. That's the goal. So we'll see how I do. I'm hoping that is the case. And oh wow, thank you, Yelena. Much appreciated for the donation. Hugs from Bosnia. Wow, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. I'll put a little heart on that. Yeah, all the donations are deeply appreciated. So much gratitude. You can send donations on YouTube or you can send them on PayPal as well. PayPal.me/IndigoAngel222. And that helps me to stay alive, you guys, because just so you know, I do not monetize my channel. And that is because it puts me on the radar for being a TI, which I already am a targeted individual. So monetization would just make me more targeted, essentially, as you guys may know. So yes. And so what essentially you guys are looking at is this diagram that I've created. I hope you guys can see it okay. Let me, because I do want to explain some things on here with you. And what you're looking at essentially is the orbital intelligence and planetary core surveillance systems from Venus. I know it's just a basic diagram, but it helps put this like into framework for you guys. And this is the 13 crystalline satellites that are sentient monitoring systems, natural organic monitoring systems that are synchronized to the cloud formation matrices and all of the solar lunar harmonics. And they exist within the 8th dimensional auric sheath of Venus, layered in superluminal plasma architecture, making them cloaked to any sort of telescopic detection. And they're here to basically serve the recovery networks, the Stargate recovery networks right now. So they're definitely tracking all the quantum waveforms of degradation on the planet across all of the planetary ley lines and all of the original divine blueprint grids. Okay, all of the layers and lattices of light, such as the dove light grid, the swan grid, the original Lemurian light grid 1, all of this, especially in the equatorial, they monitor, wow, download crown chakra, right at the front of the crown right here is where this is coming down. It's monitored at the crystalline equatorial belt. Okay, and so they're monitoring the gravitational torsion reversals caused by all of the underground AI black sun architecture. Okay, according to the black cube matrix, according to the spike matrix, according to the scalar pulse weaponry, according to the military industrial Stargate manipulation programs, the MK Ultra programs, the Monarch programs, the CIA programs, HARP, DARPA, all the stuff, right? Okay. Should take a breath here. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little like I'm almost like winded today. It's just because I didn't sleep very good last night. I kind of tossed and turned, and also I've been kind of in a little bit of pain. My body like has some stuff going on. So I'm just fighting through it over here because I feel like this is important, and I really wanted to get this out for you guys on this day 777. I didn't want to wait. This is I think it's imperative to drop the transmission at this time. So yeah, if you like this, what you like this content, you like what you're hearing, put a big like on this video and then share this out to anyone who you think would benefit from learning about the Venusian orbital intelligence systems. This is channeled information. It's not in any publications anywhere. This is all of my original work. And so yeah, I'm going to be talking about this more and more and more. This is just kind of like a preview. This is kind of like an insight look into it, just to kind of introduce the information. And honestly, get some feedback from you guys if you feel like you're seeing something within this as well. So if you are seeing things, just let me know down in the chat, and I can respond to that. And Nunu's here. Hey, Nunu. So yeah, crystalline feedback. I mean, this is what's coming through, crystalline feedback on solar Venus Earth harmonics. And they're measuring all the disruption in the chaos fields, all the Christos Sophia oscillation. So just like, I mean, I feel like this is confirmation in a lot of ways for us that, there are bigger guardians, okay, that are deeply aware of the situation here, okay? And it's not like we're just out here in the middle of nowhere, like dealing with what's happening here on our own, okay? are many measures, many factions, many lineages, many guardians of the galaxy that are aware of, what's happening here on Earth. And so, yeah, they're measuring this. They're measuring the erosion of the Venusian dove codes, right? Talk about that nuclear warfare that happened at Uluru. They tried to decimate this, but they can't, because in Earth's astral field is where it needs to be cleared out, because this is where the sexual misery grid propagation essentially is. It's in the astral field. All this weaponization actually comes down to sexual misery weaponization. It is one of the first levels and layers to reptilian dark psychology. They're very, very aware of how human beings function and where they need to manipulate the planetary organic grid. So this is coming through sexual misery grid propagation, hence why I'm always talking about get your sexual misery implants removed. Like, sounds crazy, right? Like, but there's a method to this madness, and it's because we're from body by body by body by body, we're clearing out that misery grid propagation and implant system. So this is mainly running. I mean, primarily the apex of this is in the Middle East, within all of the fallen draconian races that are there. Also, North Africa is a big one. Many locations in North Africa as well, and also Europe right now. So Ireland has a huge sexual misery grid propagation that's running there. The United Kingdom as well. I mean, these are very hot zones for sexual misery grid propagation. Middle East, again, North Africa, Western Europe, all these places. So these satellites essentially are recording, all of the measurement of the erosion of this. They're also recording etheric AI infection rates. Yeah, they're recording that. Like, we're sitting over here as human beings, like thinking that this is just going to take us all over. But again, there's higher intelligences that are monitoring the spread of the synthetic timelines. They're monitoring the spread. So, if time is speeding up, the synthetic timelines are spreading. And so the Venus satellites are monitoring what's going on from those reversal markers that they're taking note of through the satellites. They're also calculating the harmonic interference zones between the Magdalene Venusian temples, because these have to stay protected. Okay, all of the Venus temples in Mu, Kauai, south of France, Cappadocia, okay, Draco-Babylonian planetary seal sites. And I feel like, gosh, there's so many things I could really get into with this, and I'm not going to say, because I don't want to stir anything up right now. It's very hard. I haven't figured out how to essentially explain some of the encryption codes between what's going on the surface levels of humanity from the deepest levels of the galactic layers of humanity. And so I do get caught sometimes, I feel like, in these black cubes. I'll be honest with you. There's many black cubes that are even monitoring this transmission with you guys right now, just so you know. Many. So the artificial interference is very real, and unfortunately, it's all embedded into the MK Ultra programs, which is really, really sad. So I have to ultimately be careful with what I say, because it's very hard to break the black magic, break the curses, the spells, and the hexes over people's minds. And then all of the black goo and synthetic interference in between. So yeah, I think we're still working on the key codes that can actually move in and through and break down the artificial constructs and prison systems that are here essentially, which is very, very unfortunate. And all of the death and war and the holy wars that are occurring is because of that. But this is tied to planetary Saturnian forces things like this. So yeah, these Venusian records, this has been confirmed for me. It's come through very clearly that 2008 to 2023 that they were bringing these in. And so I channeled this from the Council of the Aloha Alacia Flame and Ishtar of the seventh Venus dome. So there's like these dome records inside Venus where this information is coming from. Basically, that transmission came through a sapphire. So the dome itself in Venus is sapphire. A lot of this is connected to like the sapphire like lines and lineages because they're the ones that are coming forward to confirm that Earth's interplanetary core crystal has entered like a gravitational toroidal inversion. Okay, and what's happening is like the telluric field. The telluric fields are collapsing at certain nodal points. Telluric. Telluric is like, well, if you were to just like Google telluric grid models on the planet, you would see what telluric is. Okay, I think there's a couple different kinds actually. But basically the telluric fields are collapsing at certain points, like the JCL ley line, the 70° west. And where it's collapsing is actually, there's a rupture. Okay, there's a rupture on the Venusian. I think it's the last seal. I think it's seal 7 of the JCLs. They've ruptured that site. Also on the 33° north ley line, that's where Mount Herman is. Okay. So anyone that wants to tell me that Stargate 10 is Mount Herman, like, it's clearly on the 33rd degree north. So I think that's significant enough in itself to kind of prove that point. Also 25 degrees south, Central Asia. There's stuff going on there too. So this is where they have where a lot of the fields are collapsing. And it's bringing forward magnetic and entropy. So closed systems, basically dead living light. On the subsurface, this is coming from Draco hybrid supercomputing units that are beneath the military industrial shadow bases. And a lot of this terrorism that we see going on, honestly, the proxy groups and things like this, like they're actually the ones that are like the assassins. Okay, the assassins to a lot of these things. Of course, nobody knows like what they're truly doing or what they're actually working for. We'll just put it this way. It's all like mass monarch programs, right? So basically, all of this is encoded in the halo. Okay, so like that's why I was like, third eye crown's opening up. So this is like data that's actually in your halo. One of the places where you can find some of this, like energetically, it's called like there's scrolls that are in that halo. Okay, and this is where a lot of the organic ascension spiral is being restabilized, is by the repairing of the halo systems. Guardian grid teams have been repairing that deeply between 2017 and 2023. So that's an important thing to, I think, take note of in terms of the crystalline field and what's happening in the crystalline. Also, the Venus crystal spiral reactivated in 2022. And I think that's why that was such a big year for everyone. I noticed 2022 was actually an amazing year. A lot of acceleration. For some people, not so good, drop it down in the comments and let me know, how was your 2022? Because that was a very interesting year. A lot of things happened then. And one of the big things was that there's been a massive intergalactic magnetic pulse pole line between Earth and Venus. Okay, and between Earth and Venus, 2022, they were clearing a lot of the negative dark phantom system interlocks there. Okay, and now that a lot of that's being released again, we're going to go through a Venusian upgrade in the planet over 2025 to 2028. So the crystalline satellites here that you see, this, I got this imprint May 7th, 2025. So yeah, there's a lot with this. And this goes into much more detail. Let's see here. I don't know if this is something I can bring forward all at once, as I do have to get off at 10 a.m. And I do have some session work today. Which, by the way, if you've been wanting to get in with me, my August is actually pretty open. So if you'd like to come do a session, I have a lot of availability in August for sexual misery implant removals, J-cell removals, chakra clearings, you name it. I can help you out. Planetary coordinate grid readings, or you could do my whole diamond package as well. And I do have a coupon in the description of this video. If you'd like to come and do the whole package with me, because it's an amazing experience, honestly, to do all of the work. But essentially, okay, so let me go to this picture. Let's see. Sacred Sovereign Valley says, thanks. Indy, your work is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You guys are really appreciated for joining me so early in the morning. I appreciate that. 777, wake up call. Yeah, Yelena says 2022 was pretty good to her. That's amazing. Yeah, it was really good to me as well. It wasn't until like right at the end of 2022 that I seemed to like, I deflated. I had a big deflation. So yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this picture so good, but each one of these satellites, I've channeled like a key plasma tone that goes with it. And so there are names that are connected to the crystals, and that was how I was getting, a lot of the information was and if you guys wonder how I'm getting like supercharged to get this stuff, like just so you know, I think it's coming from my pool. I know that sounds like crazy, like, but I have like these massive Lemurian crystals in my pool. Like I charge them in the sun daily. And then I place them in the water, and then I swim in the pool every day. So I think the Lemurian, like these massive chunks, I have 3 massive chunks of Lemurian crystals in my pool. It's doing something to me. It's like speeding up my psychic clairvoyance and in a galactic way. Let's just put it this way. And I'm like, has anyone ever done this before in history? Like super crystal charged their salt water. Yeah, like there's something nutso with this. And hey, if you want to get in on this level and you don't have a pool, like do it in the bathtub. Charge your bath water with large Lemurian quartz crystals. Trust me, you're going to be flying to the moon and back, because that stuff is hypercharged. And it's not a joke. Okay, it's no joke. So yeah, let's see this picture here. Yeah, and I've really kind of lost like my core energy today. Like I'm a little bit I feel again like I got that deflation going on. So trying to get my vibration up, you guys. Working on it over here. Probably need to eat something soon. But yeah, so the 13 Venusian crystallite satellites. So they form a sacred geometric intelligence grid, and it's an etheric wheel that's orbiting Venus in alignment with Earth's axial layline system. Okay, the 13 holy flame orders, each satellite governs a unique spiritual function, assisting in the resurrection of Earth's divine architecture. Because remember, I told you, Venus holds 72 harmonics, 72 dimensions in this planet. So just for example, okay, El Shaddai, and these are key plasma tones that are coming in, like literally new crystalline language. Okay, this is El Shaddai. Okay, this is the satellite that is closest to the Earth. This one is Mount Hermon. That's Mount Hermon. This is key coded to that Stargate, Temple of the Sapphire Gate in Jerusalem. Its function, when activated accordingly, can actually reverse the gate repairs. Stargate 10, Dove Seal override. And as I say that, you guys, like, I could literally cry. Like, that's how much is like coming up from like every single, like, it's not even coming from my chakras. It's coming from some like crystal hollow channel that's like connected to that gate. You know what I mean? And it like pushes and forces like this emotion up through my body and like sends it right to my third eye. It's crazy. This Roslyn, Scotland, Albion grid, Tama rule. Okay. S2, second closest to the Earth. This one is the White Rose Temple of Mu. This one is at the Roslyn Chapel, okay, on the Albion grid line in Scotland. Grail bloodline encoding is here, Albion resurrection templating. So I don't have time to go through what each one is encoded to, but just know that they're all very, very significant. Yeah, this is going to be included in my book. Again, I'm going to be talking about this a lot coming up probably on my channel, but it's like, I think it's like so much information that it's going to take some time to integrate. It's going to take some time to like really drop this over here, you know? Now, what the cosmic functions are of these satellites, 2008 to 2025. Okay, it's to collapse the phantom harmonics. Satellites S1, S4, and S9. They are triangulated Earth's war-torn frequency belts. Okay, so S1, Temple Mount. S4, Northern Israel, the Armageddon line, Tel Megiddo. Okay, right at Mount Carmel, this is where it is. Temple Mount, Mount Carmel. Also, S9, Uluru. Okay, so from the Temple Mount to Megiddo to Mount Carmel, that's connecting into Uluru. And this is the war-torn frequency belts. Okay, we had nuclear implosion at Uluru. We had the fall of man at Mount Hermon and Megiddo. Okay, absorbing all the reversal patterns and discharging them into the Venusian soul flame matrix for alchemical transmutation. Venus is the reason why these haven't fully collapsed or deflated. It's also reseeding of Sophia flame codes, S6, S11, S13, serving as anchor points for the return of the Magdalene solar priesthood seeding encoded packets into the chosen grid workers. It's coming in through the dream time visitation. It's coming in through full body chakra activations, writing, plasmic downloads. Okay, hope you're paying attention to your body. Your body is the signal code for everything that's happening on the planet. You just have to listen to the body. You want to be more psychic? I'm doing psychic development sessions today. Thank you for everyone who came and signed up for the psychic development session, which, by the way, is on my website, IndigoAngel222.com, under the services tab. Come and do a psychic development session with me. Okay, your body, you know, it's connected. You have to listen to that. Every single little thing inside your body, all the ticks, all the movements, it's all part of the plasmic download process. Okay, but essentially S6, S11, S13 are, they are the ones that are like working to actually transmit these messages to grid workers. The Venusian satellites are also there to transmutate the Draco invasive systems, the wormhole systems, S10 and S12. Okay, they're acting as interdimensional gate closers. They're dismantling the black cube gateways and severing, again, all of the ley lines that are connected to the phantom system. Everything that's draining Earth's core crystal memory, because the Venusians are here to protect the crystalline body of the Earth, right? There's a reason for that. They have invested interest. The future of Earth is Venus. The future of Earth is crystalline consciousness, right? They have invested interest in the future here. So that, like, we're protected under the Venusian Accord, essentially, working with the Guardian alliances in the Mintaka system. Timeline braiding and memory restoration. All 13 satellites synchronized May 7th, 2025 is what I got in response to Guardian Alliance operations at Stargate 10, triggering a very successful memory braid between Mu, Venus, and Earth since the second galactic fall. Systems are being upgraded on the planet right now. Upgrade, 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 upgrade. Right? You feel it? Say things in 3. It works. Okay. Sequence patterning works within the magnetic mathematical field. Northern Light says Mount Herman's been on the Overmind. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty significant point, you know. A lot has happened there. Northern Lights, lots of cars driving by when started talking about Rosalind, so I couldn't listen. I had to pause and go back. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's usually what happens. I mean, this information is so unfiltered. Let's just put it that way. This is very unfiltered. This is very raw. And honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, you're not going to get this anywhere else. Like I'm literally, oh, we're at 77. So 77 views have come in total on 777, 77 views. It's 11:47 time duration on the video. So yeah, this is coming through the 7 big time. Yeah, but that's how it works. You'll get extreme interruption on this information. Especially, you know, if there's an implant system that's there, or you have any tracker tags, like, holy crap, watch out, you know what I mean? That's going to interfere with your ability to receive the transmission. So yeah, I mean, this is all very significant, and I think more of this will be coming to the surface soon. Now, I want to talk about the Dragon Bone Planetary Layline Network with you guys as well, just briefly to kind of introduce this concept. So it's basically a Venusian resonance map with chakra-coded planetary nodes. This one is on a graph, but this one is according to the Earth. So I've also put this on a picture of the Earth map. Now, it's basically a planetary leyline diagram that's illustrating the dragon bone architecture, a very multidimensional energy lattice that links Earth's most sacred grid sites through Venusian harmonic resonance. And these are interlinked. Pathways form a global energy shield facilitating the resurrection of organic timelines, okay, along the activation of Earth's solar dragon nodes. These dragon nodes will be the restoration of the Venusian Sophianic body in the future. Okay, crown chakra. Now, okay, the original channel chakra script that was encrypted into the planet came in 2009 with Robert Kuhn. Okay, goes back farther than that, of course, but like, he was one of the publications of this. A lot of this information was taken, distorted, and, you know, sifted all over the place, and a lot of other people like contracted that information and regurgitated that information, and now all of a sudden the overlay of the current planetary chakra system is what people follow. But, you know, there's actually multiple chakra highways according to divine blueprints in the planet. Okay, and this one is one that goes back to the original dragon's architecture. So this is connected to the Tiamat divine blueprint. And the crown chakra for this one is in Kauai, Hawaii, in Scotland. The third eye is in California and Siberia. Throat chakra, Machu Picchu, Mongolia. Heart chakra, Algeria and Germany. Why do you think World War II came in the way that it did, you know? What do you think they were going for? heart chakra of humanity. Solar plexus is Jerusalem. Sacral chakra, India. Root chakra, Uluru. Hello. 24th dimensional original Pleiadian seed code seeded into Uluru. That should tell us something. The people who decoded the original planetary records for chakra system alignments, like they didn't have this information. We know that the angelic seed codes were brought to Uluru and Tasmania, root chakra. Okay, so these nodes form a serpentine current of living planetary intelligence, which the Venus dragon queens of El Are, use to guide planetary restoration and initiate sacred remembrance of those that are holding the Mary Magdalene lineages and lines, Hydra, yeah, the red-haired beings, the actual Mu lineages. So this is really what's been coming through on my end about this. And this was coming through the Ishtar Dome archives. So there's different domes in Venus, okay? And they have information records, living plasma scrolls, Akashic time bubbles, crystalline script codices, pre-cataclysmic universes. Everything is in this Venusian data vault. And it is governed by the Seraphim. It's governed by the Seraphi, Sarah record keepers that are presided over the high priestess of the rose gold flame, a lineage that reincarnated into the Mary Magdalene, the Queen Tiamat, dragon, bone, spine, chakra system, divine grid blueprint, and Isis Sophia. You wonder why you're so removed, right, energetically from things. Well, you're not on the same living grid. You're not on the same living timeline grid. Technically, you're key coded to a different timeline grid. This is why false records emerge, is because there's also records that are separated according to, genetics and things like this. So it's a very, multi-dimensional, like mindfuck, again, who's who in the cosmic zoo type of thing. But this particular Ashtar, or I'm sorry, not Ashtar, Ishtar. And I also think this Ashtar thing, like I know Ashtar is like he's like a ascended master, like collective or something, but I can't help but feeling like there was some sort of like divergence between Ishtar and Ashtar. There was some sort of that hasn't came through yet, but I feel like there's some sort of like hijack that happened there, because the Ishtar domes are where a lot of records of the Venus Earth gate migrations are located, matriarchal councils, pre-Lyra civilizations, etheric seed libraries of Mu, Lemuria, early Tara, and basically all the scripts for all the Sophianic resurrection. So and again, the Alatia flame has a lot to do with this. The Alatia flame is the original eternal life plasma flame, seeded from the universal mother art core. Okay, some of it might call that the turquoise or the sapphire ray. Okay, that's the Alatia flame, basically. Oh, okay. Oh, Dorina says, thank you for the updates. I can't even comprehend half of what you explained, but I sort of get the big picture. Yeah, it's true, and I know that's true. It's again like it's Guardian activated light encoded language. Okay, so you really don't have to get it entirely, because your consciousness does get that. And it's planting like seeds for consciousness expansion, essentially. So you will actually get it at some point. Everything. You will understand the language. It just takes time to integrate the understanding of it all. But yeah, okay, guys, let me see. What else did I have for you today? I feel like, oh, I had something else that I want. That's right. Oh, can't go without showing you guys this last bit. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay, so these points right here, these are very significant. Very, very significant. These are the major Tiamat nodes and dragon consciousness anchors. So we talk about the previous one that you've seen where you had all of the chakra nodes. Now there's also, because the Tiamat light grid is one of the divine blueprints on the planet, like right pre-fall Earth records. Now, this is very hidden information. Why? Because it's like guarded by the Leviathan, like for real, for real. I feel like the reason why I was able to get access to some of this is because, you know, I basically went to the Vatican and put my middle finger up at the freaking Leviathan, if you know what I mean. Like, so they don't like me very much, and I had to, suffer some consequences for those things. Let's just put it this way. But I think because I did that, it like somehow initiated me into some of this stuff. But Rome, Rome, you know, Rome is a Tiamat grid anchor point. You guys may know this or not know this, but the true origin of Vatican is derived from the ancient Etruscan Gaelic term Vatica, and it refers to the seeress or the oracle and dragon priestess of the underworld, right? Underworld is like, there's negative connotation to these things. So, okay, so just like bypass, override, don't get stuck up on that. But the Vatican Hill was originally a necropolis for goddess worship and death transition rites. Okay, they stole those records, stole the name, stole the identity. This is what has been happening to the Seraphim lines this whole time. This whole time, the Seraphim have been under attack. That is a whole other issue that I don't want to get into right now because it gets my blood boiling. So my dragon blood starts boiling, okay? The significance of the Vatican node is it is a distorted dragon leyline control center. Okay, so that's what they're using it for. And it's where the divine feminine lineages were inverted and appropriated into patriarchal empire systems. It came from this point. You have to understand, Rome designed the Antichrist forces on the planet. Okay, they did that by overriding the major Tiamat nodes. It's disgusting. As I say that, I feel like, ugh, like this whole like black smoke just like releases like out of my field. It's the weirdest thing, but it's there's a deep Tiamat connection here. The Vatican obelisk is very significant. The dome, the catacombs, all of that sit on a collapsed Tiamat vault, sealing the original Dragon Mother grid and replacing it with solar male domination codes, okay? The inverted ones, right? Males are suffering from this as well, okay? So just know it's not like a war between men and women. It's that domination code is also inverting the male energy inscription as well. So it's a conundrum. But essentially what has to happen in Rome is that the reversal grid collapse needs to happen, restoration of the Vatica lineages, and reactivation of the serpent priestess DNA memory fields. Okay, because they suppressed all this ancient knowledge. Also, another very significant point on this map, which I need to correct the dot because the dot is like here, but Giza Plateau and Saqqara. This is where the Serpent Vault and timeline breach point actually occurred. Okay, the true origin is the Giza Saqqara complex. Now, Saqqara complex is demonized for a lot of reasons. Why? Because it was once part of a unified Tiamat command field, okay, acting as a central node of the planetary dragon spine. And this entire zone functioned as a living consciousness engine built upon a seraphic plasma vault that house the Earth's original time field regulators and pre-cataclysmic dragon libraries. So crazy too. Because I went to Saqqara. I was there, you guys. This is how I know. This is how I know. Because I was there. And not only was I there, time, earth, dimension stood still. So I could go by myself. Nobody went with me. Could you imagine being this like, fair-skinned, like white woman, like in freaking Egypt by yourself, going to freaking Saqqara? I did crazy stuff. I did crazy stuff. So I thought I was going to die. You know what I did? I just said, you know what? If the universe wants me to perish, then, I'm doing what I love and I'm doing it for what I believe in. And I just put all full trust into the universe. And I just said, if I'm meant to be here, it will protect me. And I just went in. I just went for it. So what I seen there was I seen the serpent vault that was there basically. So there is a deep dragon significance. Both Giza and Saqqara were aligned to the dragon solar Stargate harmonics, overseen by high solar priests and priestesses of Rata, and Tiamat. This is the hijack, you guys. Like all these sites, like the Sphinx, the Pyramid of Kefir, the Step Pyramid of Dozier, were all sequenced through the Serpent Leyline convergence points, with Saqqara operating as a time vault gateway to the planetary record system. Saqqara is very, very, very significant. And when you go to Saqqara, like there are serpents everywhere. Everywhere. It's inscripted into the vault systems. It's encrypted into the architecture. It's encrypted into the walls. It's encrypted. They cannot extract its true identity. Okay. Tiamat connection here, though. This location marked the solar-lunar interface of Tiamat's planetary breath, allowing encoded plasma intelligence to be broadcast across the Earth's inner grid. Saqqara, in particular, was a maternal time field generator connected to the planetary stasis chambers and divine feminine lunar temples of Mu. The pyramids are from Mu. Saqqara is from Mu. These are not Atlantean idols, essentially. They're not Atlantean idols. This is a part of the hijack, you guys. I mean, of course, it's a part of, I think Earth's planetary ascension, spiritual evolution, but the way that this stuff was done was not good because Saqqara became one of the first hijack zones post-invasion, forcibly ripped open into the black hole wormhole system through, of course, Metatronic weaponry, really the spike matrix and the force of Saturn, along with Marduk and Maldek and basically all of the like narcissistic mental body templates that are in the 1, 2, and 3D. This created a temporal implosion which severed parts of Tiamat's memory body and then collapsed sections of the Earth's 5D inner vaults. Saqqara marks the historical ground zero of the timeline breach, where the original planetary timekeeper structures were violently overwritten and converted into reversal gateways tied to phantom wormhole systems. So really, at the end of the day, the restoration of the Sphinx-Saqqara corridor as a vertical gateway to the original solar record fields, clearing of the black cube reversal systems embedded beneath Saqqara, delinking the wormhole architecture, and retrieval of the Tiamat planetary egg fragment is encoded below the step pyramids. And that's really, as Guardian lineages, races, and missions, that's what we have to work to restore, basically. Okay, also several other locations. There's actually nine of these, as you can see on the map here. There's 9 of these major Tiamat nodes and dragon consciousness anchor points. Lake Titicaca, Bolivia, Peru border, Serpent's Womb Gate. That's what that is. This is where all of the ancient feminine solar dragon initiations are. You notice if you go down to Peru, okay, Bolivia, what do you find everywhere, you guys? It's not, you know, what you think it is, like all these artificial overlays. You find serpent statues. You find serpent temples. You find serpent gardens. You find Mama uh, Aklo. You find the Viracocha bloodlines, all solar dragon initiation bloodlines. And this is what acts as a liquid crystalline portal to inner earth mood temples and serpent egg consciousness. So the Guardian focus here is to reactivate the solar womb codes, clear the Jesuit military oculate layers installed post-Inquisition, right? Because they came in pretty hardcore there. The Jesuits, Rome, the creator of the Antichrist, okay, created the Jesuits, created the assassins of the draconian forces, okay? They have the leagues and all of their proxies. Essentially, and all the ones that have worked for them throughout time. So they're sealing off the sacred lakes right now in accordance for preparation for the Edenic return of Earth, going back to the Edenic state, going back, which is becoming the new Earth. This is all new Earth prophecy. Again, it's going to be in my book that I'm publishing, hopefully by the end of 2025. So, yes. So yeah, there's a lot of these, you guys. I'll have to get back on, I think, and transmit the rest of this, but I wanted to, yeah, bring this forward for what I could, for what it's worth, just to get some of these codes out to you guys, because I feel like they're very significant. 777, you guys, it's all coming through the time markers. And hope everyone is having a good day. Oh, okay. Clarice Claudette, hi, nobody talks about New Orleans, New Gold Lion, and the Fleur de Lis block. This is a significant area where Divine Feminine, which is also an overlay of Voodoo Catholic. Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you for bringing that in. New Orleans is definitely very, very significant. It's almost like, yeah, there's so many overlays there that they're really trying to forbid us to access that time continuum template that's there. Of course, with the voodoo and all of that, I think it's in order to retrieve those records, you probably would go through like an aspect of soul possession. I'm not even gonna lie. Just to even get in there. A lot of this, have you guys ever heard of the Agoris? So the Agoris are like yogis that essentially this is how you attain records. This is how you attain records, you guys, is you have to go into the fire. You have to go into the flame. You have to go into where they don't want you to go, basically, to pull the record. So I mean, it's I'm very close to New Orleans, you guys. You know that, and I don't ever go down there. I think I'm like 2 or 3 hours from New Orleans, actually. I probably should do a trip and decode that. But because I'm so close to New Orleans, all of the metaphysical shops that we have, like in Pensacola in our community, they're all stacked with like voodoo artifacts. You know, the metaphysical store that's right like 5 minutes down the street from my house, like I go in there and half of the store it's New Orleans like voodoo material, books, like the creepy doll heads and stuff that they use. Like it's really like I think the most ancient form of witchcraft, but I have compassion for it as well because I understand that that form of spirituality was created out of a means of necessity of survival from the most like horrendous slavery forced breeder programs on the planet, the Atlantic slave trade. You understand that form of spiritual medicine was out of a necessity to overcome the darkest evils on the planet. So it's like I have compassion for that. I wouldn't actively practice it just because there's a lot of dark forces that you could conjure up. So just saying to like get the records of New Orleans, you know, you're gonna go through some stuff to decode that one, that's for sure. I'll just put it that way. I can already see it coming in. Oh, Clarice, wow, we must be connected here, sister. In a deeper way, huh? Four, yes, come visit me. I was in Pensacola the last 2 years, had to escape. Yeah, it's like the real SSP. It's like that's what's going on down here. It's nuts out. I think that's another reason why I'm getting so activated is it's it's a lot of extraterrestrial sightings that are here. It's just it's lit. It's lit in a whole other way that I don't know if people realize. It's pretty crazy. So you have to be tough to make it down here a little bit. I think honestly that's what the pool helps me with. I notice salt water as a means of survival here. Because you really need the nourishment and the clearing on a consistent basis to be able to withstand the galactic impulse waves that are coming in down here. Plus, we have massive star formations. I mean, it's just there's a lot going on in terms of the grid. Yes, but there's reasons for that, right? So anywhere that has any sort of populated negative control is because you're sitting on something pretty freaking awesome at the same time. So I really think there's a blue diamond infrastructure architecture that's also running here as well. That's one of like the highest double diamond crystalline divine blueprint grid matrices. I think that the activation point, the vortice points are down here in Pensacola. So yeah, guys. Oh, Woterman says, I love dragons. Could it be that the found dinosaur bones are actually from dragons? I've always felt that to be true. Yeah, I think the dinosaurs are definitely deeply connected and encoded to the primordial race lineages of this planet, which were ultimately reptilians. I mean, we came in different ways. We all seeded there's many progenitor races. Not all of them were, reptiles, but they were some of the progenitor races on the planet. So yeah, guys. Um, well, thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning. I'm gonna get on to some of my psychic development sessions with some peeps here and upgrade their fields. Um, I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to put a big like on this video on your way out and just share this out to anyone that you feel can benefit from the information as we continue to upgrade the planet and bring in the highest grid work that we possibly can for planetary restoration to the new Earth prophecy and timelines. That's what we're creating, you guys. That's what the grid work is all about. The grid work is about us recognizing our ability to be these impeccable, angelic DNA cosmic councils and antennas. And, we can repair that crystalline grid and work with the crystalline grid structures. That's what we're here to do. We're here to create new Earth. So, that's the point of all of this at the end of the day is like retrieving these ancient records is to do that because we need more information to do that. And that's really what's being granted right now, you guys. A lot of us are being initiated into this form of knowledge that's very ancient and sacred. So yeah, we're going to keep it that way. So yeah, I love you guys and I'll see you guys soon. I'll be tuning back in later, I'm sure. Have a beautiful everything.